is our third date. You know what happens on the third date, right? We're going to talk about targeting. So, targeting is one of the most important strategic tools that we do in campaigns, because in every campaign, Belle talked about the resources we have, right? She talked about money, she talked about people. There's actually a third one, which is time. Time, money, and people are the three most important resources that we have on any campaign. Let me ask you a question. Of those three things, time, money, and people, which one is the most important? You can go to the next slide. Wait, time, money, people. Okay, raise your hand if it's people. Where's people? Oh, there's my progressives. People! People who love people. Who says it's money? Raise your hand if it's money. Of course, got him. Nasty, greedy corporate bastards. All about what's in the pockets. No, folks, it's time. Time is the most important resource. You know why? Because I can always recruit more volunteers. I can always talk to more people at their doors. I can always raise more money and have another fundraising event or another house party. But time is finite in an election. Election day comes, and ready or not, it's happening. So you better be ready. Time, money, and people. If we lived in a perfect world where we had unlimited time, an unlimited number of people to do the work, and an unlimited amount of money to pay for everything, we would talk to every single voter out there. But we don't live in that world. We live in the real world. And in the real world, we have to use targeting. Targeting is basically a tool that helps us decide where are we going to win, where are we going to lose, and what's up for grabs. It's that simple. Because it tells us how to spend our time, where to put our people, and where to spend money on stuff. So let me show you how it works. This model that I learned this model in 2002. It was created by a friend of mine named Ken Strasman. And it's a really important model to understand how strategists think about voter contact. Because a lot of times as volunteers and as activists, you get really frustrated, right? You're like, why is the campaign not focusing on my issue or my community? Why are they not in my state? You get sick and tired of hearing about battleground states if you don't live in one of them, right? So targeting really helped me understand their mindset. Because what targeting teaches us is that of all the people in the world, there's really only 9 kinds of people as far as we're concerned. That's it. There's 9 kinds of people we care about. This model is based on 2 basic principles. How do people vote, and how often do they vote? How do people vote is their partisanship. Do they always vote with us? Do they always vote against us? Or do they switch back and forth? And how often they vote, turnout, is do they always vote? Do they never, ever, ever, ever vote? Or do they sometimes vote? If you know these 2 pieces of information, you can be a political strategist. It's that easy. Open up a consulting shop, make $1 million. Here's how you do it. The first thing, and by the way, this is true of both Democrats and Republicans. For 30 years, both parties have used this basic strategy. Because the first thing they do is they cross out the people who are never, ever going to vote with us. Now, I see some of your faces. And you're thinking to yourself, but Parag, they just haven't met me yet. I can convince them. And I know you people. You're the special people I talked about earlier. You're the people that will spend 30 minutes at somebody's door yelling and arguing, thinking that you're going to convert them. You're not. There's a reason why they never vote with us. You're not going to be the one that gets them. Move on, because the 30 minutes you spent with them could have been time spent with some of these people. Okay? So I know it's painful for some of you, but the first thing we do in our list is we cross off these people. Because there's a reason they never vote for us. Let's spend our limited time, limited money, and limited people where it's going to give us some benefit. The second thing we do is we cross out you. We've got you. We better have you, because if you're spending this much time at a Democratic convention in North Carolina in this heat, you know, we assume that you're with us. I assume I can count on all your votes. So don't spend a whole lot of time talking to me. These are the people, we call them the base, right? The base of the party. These are the people, they don't need any encouragement. They don't need to be reminded when election day is. Maybe put a door hanger on their door the morning of the election. But that's it, just a reminder, go vote today. But they know what to do. They're with us. Okay? In Texas, we have a name for them. We call them Yellow Dog Democrats. Because they'd sooner vote for a sick, dying yellow dog on the side of the road before they vote for a Republican. I love yellow dogs. I'm a yellow dog. Okay, and the last thing we do is we cut out these people. Because they never, ever vote. Now again, you could go out, and you could register them, and you could do all these things to create urgency. But remember, in our country, ever since Watergate, there's been a reason why a lot of people felt apathetic about the electoral process. They've moved out of the process, right? And if we have limited time, limited money, and limited people, I need you to focus it all on these 3 boxes that are left. See why I get paid so well? Because I just took a universe of 9 different types, and I said, forget all of them except for these 3. I just saved you a lot of time, money, and people. Of those 3, 1, 2, 3, which one's the most important in an election? What's the number 1 group that we're going to focus on?
Swing voters.
many of you say it's this one? How many of you say it's this one? How many of you say it's this one? Deepa?
I'm not mixing it
These
up.
people. Right here. Go ahead, got them. These are the #1 most important group in any election. Why? Why is this our #1 priority? Why? What? Because they always vote. Whether I talk to them or not, they're showing up on election day and they're voting for somebody. And I can guarantee you that if I don't talk to them, Mitt Romney is. Right? And that's cost me 2 votes. It's 1 vote that I didn't get, and it's a vote that he got. That's 2 votes I lose for every 1 person. This is the #1 priority in every single election. The swing voters who always vote because they always vote. We know they're going election day. We just want to make sure we talk to them first. #2 priority is these guys. I call them my lazy Dems. My couch potato Dems. I have a woman in Virginia. Every year I talk to her because we have elections every year in Virginia. It's a crazy place. Her name is Mary. And I always get to her house at 6:55, polls are about to close, she's in her moo-moo, she's in her curlers, and I have now gotten to a point where after all these years, Mary, my couch potato Dem, I don't need to tell Mary how to vote. If I can get Mary in a car, if I can give her a pack of cigarettes to smoke on the way to the poll, if I can get somebody to watch her dog, you're not supposed to do that, by the way, it's legal. If I can get someone to watch her dog, I don't need to tell Mary who to vote for. She knows what to do when she gets there, I just gotta get her there. Last year I was very proud when I showed up and Mary was in her moo-moo and her curlers, she had an I voted sticker. I was like, I trained you well. I was trying to move her up here, okay? That's priority #2. And last but not least is priority #3. These people, hate is a really strong word. And I hate these people. And the reason I hate these people is because remember how 2008, like the day before the election, CNN did a poll and said that 2% of Americans still hadn't decided who they were going to vote for, McCain or Obama, and if they were going to vote at all. And I remember thinking to myself, what's wrong with you? Was this election not long enough? Did Hillary and Obama go into 50 states and 4 territories in D.C. for 2 years and 3 presidential debates and Sarah Palin did 2 huge conventions? Was all of that and not $1 billion? You still don't know? But here's the thing about these people. You can hate them as much as I do, but here's the thing. Last 3 times, they've decided the President of the United States. They picked the President in the last 3 elections, and they might do so again. So when you've exhausted everything you can do with these 2 groups, you're going to spend whatever you have left, that last dying gasp on these people, because these people can make the difference in a swing election. And I don't just mean in the presidential. We have a lot of local races this year. Congressional races in Reading, Pennsylvania, in Southern California, in Kentucky, where these people can make the difference, and these people could be our people. These people could be APIs. This is the model. It's called the Strasma model. It's the model of targeting. That's the big mysterious science of what political strategists do. We try and figure out, because the bad news for you is, the good news is I made your world a lot easier. The bad news is people don't walk around with stickers on their foreheads that say, I'm a 1, I'm a 2, I'm a 3. You have to go figure that out. And we have voter files and all kinds of wonderful technology. This is the way we do it. Okay? Everybody understand this? Everybody get this? Okay, so in the remaining time that I have left, I have to tell you something. This model, excuse my French, is a total pile of crap. And here's why. I believe that this model is the reason that Democrats were losing elections for 25 years. Because it's absolutely correct that in an election, when you have limited time, limited money, and limited people, you have to prioritize. But not every year is an election year. And we are the progressive movement. We are the Democratic Party. We don't just organize for one election, we organize for a lifetime. So, from now until election day, in the 64 days you have left, go do 1, 2, and 3. But on November 7th, I want you to wake up in the morning, and I want you to start doing the rest. Because here's the thing.
You can make them.
We could have started moving these people over. You know who some of these people are? They're what are called Reagan Democrats. Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania Catholic voters who found appeal in Reagan's message, even though they're low income, and the Republican Party has done absolutely nothing for them. It's the people in West Virginia who told me 3 years ago that they wouldn't vote for the gay guy for state rep until one day they realized that the Republican they kept voting for didn't do anything for their children's education, didn't do anything for their health care. So you know what? The gay guy at least wants to try. Let's give him a shot, right? Because the gay guy kept talking to them. If you don't talk to them, they're never going to come back to our side. Our message to Republicans, a lot of them are very frustrated with their own party. A lot of them see the invisible chairs and the crazy Tea Party people say, that's not my party, right? There's a message for them. Come back to Jamaica. Come back to the islands. It's warm here, right? Number 2, these people. You know who's in this group? Immigrants. People who just become citizens of this country. People who came from countries where politics was considered a negative thing or a corrupt thing. And mom and dad just need to be told, in America it's different. In America, your vote matters. In America, your vote will count. You know who else is in this group? Young people. If you're not going to high schools between now and Election Day and registering young people to vote and to vote in their first election to re-elect the President of the United States, you've missed an opportunity. And don't say to me, oh, Parag, I can't go to public schools because it's partisan and they don't let partisan stuff happen there. There's a solution to every problem. The solution is find the worst public speaker you know who's a Republican friend of yours and invite that person to come with you. Tell the principal of the school, we'll do a bipartisan voter registration vote. I'll talk for 5 minutes, he'll talk for 5 minutes, and then we'll let the kids register to vote however they want. This is why I hang out with really bad Republicans, right? It's a great way to use them. Go talk to these people. You've got to get them involved. You've got to move them up here. These are potential votes. And last but not least, the worst thing about this model, the thing that offends me the most is what we did right here. Because what we did to our own people, to our own fellow activists, really a door hanger on Election Day, that's taking them for granted. John Kerry lost the 2004 election not because he didn't hit his vote goals in every state. He lost the 2004 election because his support with black voters in Ohio went from 90% for Gore to 88% for Kerry. And you may think 2% is not a big deal, but you take African Americans, you take Asian Americans, you take women, you take gay and lesbian Americans, you take union members for granted, you lose a point here, a point there, that's the election. You cannot do this. These people are the heroes and the sheroes of our party and of our movement. We don't win elections without them. You don't talk to them in the last 5 minutes of the election, you talk to them a year before the election. Because they are your volunteers, they are your donors, they're all of you sitting in this room. You come to them, you bring your slate of candidates who are running in the primaries, you say, this is our party, this is the diversity, ask them questions, learn their stories, and then you are the army that's going to go out and talk to every other box and bring them over to your side. You empower them. Empower, respect, and include. Those are the values of the Obama campaign. Those are the values of the progressive movement. That's how you do targeting.